Hello, this video is going to provide an exemplar of what we are looking for in this unit in terms of a letter. So this is the situation that was provided earlier on in the lesson. So just a reminder of the situation. So you're from the town of Prosper, which is considering a proposal to set a curfew for people under the age of 21 of 10 p.m. So people who support this, they think vandalism and petty crimes during this time will kind of stop because of the curfew, whereas others believe that it's not going to work and it's going to unjustly punish people. So you're going to be given the place where you're from. It's usually from a town called Prosper, and you're going to be given a character. So in this case, they're telling you, hey, you're Quinn Whitley, a resident of Prosper. They're not telling you what type of resident. So you could choose to be a young person. You could choose to be an old person. So there's some creative sort of freedom there. So you need to consider the sources and then sort of create your own response to this by using the evidence and sources provided. So you're going to write a letter that's going to persuade the Prosper Town Council to either accept or reject the proposal to adopt a curfew. So we always need to remember to keep our purpose and audience in mind. So we're trying to be persuasive. That's our purpose. The audience is obviously the town council. We're going to look at the information below and provide a clear argument. So again, you would have seen these two already. So a couple tweets here. One is for or against the proposal. This is a young person, an older person here who is for the proposal. A graph here. The graphs are always a little bit vague, so you can make the graph say what you want it to say. But you'll notice, hey, 45% is in that 13 to 21 years of age. Okay, that's under 21, so this might be a useful stat that you might want to use. And then there's an opinion piece here talking about police resources and how they're being used and they're being stretched too thin. So you're always going to have a good look at the sources and then decide, are you going to either accept or reject the proposal? And then you're going to write a letter. And so this is just a quick example of the letter. So this first part here highlighted in purple, if we go back here to the presentation, so the last page of this lesson, is you'll notice the first thing we need to do is the heading, the date and recipient's address, a salutation. So this is a greeting. At the beginning is what's going to follow next. Your introduction is where you say who you are and what your three main arguments are going to be, followed by your body paragraphs, one for each of those arguments, then your last call to action and closing. So that's sort of how these have been grouped. So here's this is me here, this is the date, this is who I'm sending it to, and you'll notice I've just made up addresses here, so you have some creative license. This first part here is the salutation plus the introduction. So I'm saying, Dear Prosper Town Council, my name is Quinn Whitley and I am an active member of this community. I've recently heard about the new proposal of curfews for those residents that are under the age of 21. I am writing to strongly support this proposal. So I'm making it really clear here that I am in support. While I understand that this may punish the many for the few, so interesting, this is a counter argument. This is what my first paragraph is going to be about. This curfew frees up police officers for more pressing matters. Okay, that's going to be my second body paragraph, as well as helps reduce the rampant vandalism occurring in our community. That's going to be my third paragraph. So you need to sort of list either in individual sentences or all in one sentence what your three main arguments are going to be. I've gone ahead and written the first body paragraph here. So again, I said that while I understand this may punish the many for the few, so I'm going to talk about that, but I need to flip it. So I'm going to present what people against this would say, and I'm going to turn it around and have it work for me as a proposal for. So I say, while I understand that there are many young people that are not participating in these petty crimes, a curfew does not seem like a huge infringement. So I'm already sort of reducing their concerns by saying this doesn't seem like a big deal. And then I say, I'm going to include you have to include sources. So I have to include something from up here to support what I'm saying. I can't just say what I want to say. A comment made on Twitter states that they would not be able to go to late shows with friends. And okay, great. That's from there. So now I have to refute this and make it work in my favor. And I say, this is an understandable concern. However, it is when young people get out after shows like this that concerning vandalism and break-ins are happening. So I'm saying that's great, but the people that you go to these shows with are potentially the people that are committing these crimes. So I've reduced their argument and flipped it around on them. They can surely find ways to rearrange their schedules or attend earlier shows to comply with this curfew. So I'm even making a suggestion here of what they could do differently. I always want to include at least 2 pieces of evidence from the sources. So I say, this person goes on to say that they should not be punished for what a select few have done. Okay, now I have to, again, weaken this argument. There are definitely young people who are acting responsibly. However, the petty crimes distribution by age and prosper, so this chart up here, okay, shows that 45% of petty crime is being done by those 13 to 21 years. 45% does not seem like a few number. So again, I'm using their arguments against them and having them work for me. The next 2 body paragraphs, so this one is going to be the one about police officers. Again, I'm going to want to create a nice full argument here with a couple references to the data that's there. So I might use the opinion article and the circle graph to help me out here. The next paragraph is going to be about the late night vandalism. So I might provide specifics from the other tweeter, from the elderly person. And again, I might refer to the police article again, or maybe the circle graph again. But basically what I did here, you're going to do 2 more times. But this time, because I'm not trying to counter argue, I'm using my 4 arguments. It's a little bit easier. Then our last thing is kind of our closing, our call to action. So I say, as the arguments and evidence above have shown, I strongly encourage Prosper Town Council to accept this proposal. So again, I'm reiterating my position on the topic. It will reduce these petty crimes as well as free up Prosper's police service to attend to more pressing matters. I'm sort of reviewing my main arguments. And then should you wish to speak to me in more detail about my support, you can reach me at, and again, I made up an email for this person. Regards, Quinn Whitley. So this is just, again, a basic idea with some examples of what you might want to do with the sources. Again, you have some creative freedom here, but we want to make sure we're using these sources and using them to help us be persuasive in our position on the topic. Okay, well, now you can head to the assignment. And if you have any more questions or concerns, as always, you can reach out to an instructor.